It's good to see everybody again. Thank you for joining me. My apologies for the delay. Something didn't go quite right, but we're here now. And today I'm going to talk about confidence on camera. Now, if you want to join me on camera, the link is up above. So just press that link and you can come in and I'll bring you on camera. Now, I've done over 250 shows. And so my confidence on camera is reasonable, and I am now about to do a course about that topic. So I thought I'd come out here and talk about it and get everybody's thoughts on today's topic, which is confidence on camera. And I'm just going to switch cameras so that you can see me properly. Now, one of the biggest problems that people have with live video is actually going live for the first time. And I'd just like to say, oh, a long lost friend. Hello, David. It's good to see you. If you want to join me, please do. We're just talking about confidence on camera. So hello to David and hello to Didar. Nice to see you again. If you'd like to join me on camera. And thank you, David. I'm supremely confident and looking at the camera, and all is going reasonably well. And I just want to congratulate Corinda. Corinda was on Smile Time earlier with Allegra and did a very good show, which I enjoyed watching. And it's hello to Robert and hello to Babing, where it's evening. And to Raymat is also watching. So hello everybody who's watching at the moment. And thank you for that, Corinda, vote of confidence. And Rana, nice to see you. And apologies for that, the text on here is a bit small. But if you are thinking about going live and you sort of, not too confident about it, then my suggestion is very straightforward in that Manycam can help you. Now, David's watching, and David, this is for people who are back to their first broadcast. But what you can do with Manycam is that you can change the shot so that you don't appear full screen. You appear in a corner of the screen. So now I'm talking to you, and this is a shot from Be Live yesterday, and I'm only showing smaller on the screen. You can see the boomerang up above me. You can see the chest set and everything. But using Manycam, you can, first of all, you don't have to be on screen. You can just talk without being on screen, or you can be in the picture, just to show you what David looks like. And shout out to Leland as well. And all I'm doing is changing the sets. I'm still on camera. It's still the same camera. There's no second camera involved. But I can switch the camera from one scene to another and then come back. Now I'm going to return to the broadcast page. I did put the link in. Okay, Didar is busy. Okay, and Dishon, I'd like to say hello. And David's doing pretend R, which is fair enough. But it can help you to go live on camera if you use Manycam. And I'm going to welcome Robert in, and we'll take it from there. And Robert, you see flashing lights, and then you're a guest. Did you see the flashing lights?
Yes, I did. It goes 3, 2, 1, bell.
It gives you 3 seconds to get ready to come on air. A new improvement to Be Live. Now, can I take you back? Can I take you back to your first broadcast and how you felt before you went live?
But on what?
Anything.
Remember, I'm doing live streaming since March of 2015.
Okay.
So I started a few times. Yes, I got a haircut. Thank you, David, for noticing. I started a couple of times on Meerkat and then hit Periscope very hard. Now, that is very different than where we are today.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
Periscope and Meerkat, which started this craze in early 2015, it was only mobile, and you were the only one on screen.
Indeed. Yep.
So it was one to many. And what I was trying to promote back then basically was just hit the button and start talking to people, just like you'd be talking to people, in straight thing. I know Corinder's asking me about Blab. Oh, I know all about Blab. I was all over Blab. I mean, it was Meerkat, then it was Periscope, then Blab came in, then Meavy was here for a little bit, then Facebook Live finally came out, and there's so many more. Instagram Live, there's so many live streaming options now.
That's true. But if we go back to March 2015, then can you remember how you felt when you first went live?
Well,
what was the trigger?
It was kind of like a deer in the headlights.
Okay. Yep. I know the feeling.
Because you know what it was? I've done video before. And video's different. It's pre-recorded and everything else. But when you look at the phone and you're looking at yourself, and all of a sudden you see these people piling into a room, because I was on at 8 in the morning on the first day Periscope came out.
Right.
That was really, Meerkat was interesting, but I liked Periscope better. And the hardest part with any of these systems, and what you're doing with David and with the LVS 17 and other people are involved doing things, there's no book. There's nothing to read how to use it, even the technology side of it. So when you went on Periscope, it was like a deer. Okay, what do I do? Okay, I see myself. Oh, somebody came in the room. It was like, oh my God, what do I do now?
What happens next?
What happens next? Oh God, somebody's watching me. Big Brother is watching. And it's just getting accustomed to being on camera. But the thing that I tell people all the time with coaching and with what I do is, don't look at it as being on camera. Look at it as having conversation with people, just like you do every day of your life.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, I'm seeing this, and I'm talking to you. I'm looking at the camera, but I'm actually chatting with you. And I know that there are people watching. I'm grateful for them watching. But if you treat it as a one-to-one or a three people chatting as you can on Be Live, then it's a lot easier, isn't it? It's a mindset thing.
It is. It's very much a mindset. And the biggest thing was that, Periscope and Meerkat came out and they were doing all that stuff. And then it was 4 months later, Blab came out.
Indeed.
That put people that were scared to go on camera because it was on your phone and by yourself.
Yep.
But all of a sudden you're on camera with people. But what the interesting part was, meeting people from all around the world, Australia, India, didn't matter where, people all of a sudden, because they started to talk with other people on the camera, they learned and were able to pick up the phone and do it by themselves also. Because the fear was gone, because they've been accustomed to being on camera.
Yeah. Indeed. And I remember my first time, I just, the host on the show on Blab said, does anybody want to join me? I'm just about to close down. I thought, this can't be that bad. And before I knew it, I was actually on there chatting to him. And I was bitten by the bug, because we're bitten by the bug, aren't we? Once we've been live, you want to do it again. Exactly.
And it's not about how many people are watching. It's just about getting out there and talking to people. It's all about the conversations. And that's what social media is about. It's all about engagement and conversations. This is no different. This is just initial, wow, I can talk live. I can answer questions live. I can show things, even if it's on the phone, turn the camera around and show people what's going on. I mean, Periscope was funny, Ryan Stifelson, myself, and Mark, trying to remember his last name. He's in London.
Mark Shaw.
Mark Shaw. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
We
no
actually
worries.
did the first live interview on Periscope.
Right.
And the way we did it was Ryan set it up, Mark and me, and then Dave Shrine came in also. We went on Zoom, and he was on it too with his camera from his computer, and he had the Periscope watching the screen. So we were all live to everybody.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
And that was the whole start of all this stuff. And I mean, the past 2 years have been mind blowing.
Oh, totally, totally. It changes every day, doesn't it? It changes every day. We've gone from Blab to Huzzer to Fire Talk to Smile Time to Be Live and Facebook Live and Facebook two people on screen.
Another one out now called Ecamm
on Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's still new things coming out, and everybody is and Periscope producer, and then you get your Wirecast and your OBS, and the technology's changing. But in all honesty, it's basically boiling down to just getting on the camera and talking to people. Yeah, Ecamm is only for the Mac. By moments, you have a terrible lag voice. Probably you have Manicams and other software working. Not me, Antonio. I'm working straight off the computer. I'm not using Manicam or anything else. But it's just.
I'm using Manicam. Can you hear me?
Okay. I hear you.
Right. Okay. I am using Manicam. It might be the broadcast that has a problem rather than us in the room.
Now, was Blab your first thing, Stephen, or were you on Periscope first?
No, I'm not a Periscoper. I couldn't, as you say, it takes the mindset to go single, to go live on your own. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I didn't have the mindset to do it. And Antonio is confirming it's on my side. I might switch in a minute. If I give you the screen for 2 minutes. Yeah,
no problem.
You talk about the first time.
I can do a little dance show. So, you know. Okay,
so I'm going to drop myself down. I'm going to come back. Okay, all yours.
Okay. No, so basically, starting off on live streaming is always the toughest thing. If any of you are out there watching and you've never been on it, it literally is the hardest thing in the world to get on camera. And good morning, Lindsay. How are you? Steven's just joining. He had to reboot. So now is perfect. It was 5 minutes ago. Yep. So, but he's going to come back in. But the hardest part about live streaming is the first few times is just hitting that button, hitting on the computer, and just going live. And not caring about how many people are watching you. That's the bottom line, too. See, I was able to handle it.
You've got it. I knew you would. I didn't have a problem with that at all.
I'm not shy.
Right. Right. Okay. Now I've ditched my Manicam, and Antonio says now it's perfect. But he was talking about. Right. Okay. This brings us to a point which I do want to make, and the problem is the technology is that we can have problems. The more third-party apps you're using, then the more problems you can have. And we're always wary of using Manicam, vMix, and OBS, and Wirecast for the problems that can cause. But I did actually come in with Manicam because I wanted to do some screens. But the problem then came that Antonio said that there was a delay on my feed. Now, what I shouldn't have done, I shouldn't have ignored Antonio, but I should have ignored the comment until somebody else made it. If two people tell you that your camera feed and video are not in sync, then do something about it. If only one person tells you, then ask them politely to refresh. Right. So in the meantime, thank you to everybody who's watching. And
getting a little echo from you.
Right. Okay. Well, I can't. Right. Okay. I'm going to assume that Antonio's got a bad signal, and I'm going to carry on because the situation is that there's very little we can do about it technically. We just have to soldier on. This is live broadcasting. Things can go wrong. What I did then was I switched Manicam off and came back. Broadcast continued, and now we have been joined by David.
Oh no, it's gone downhill.
Did
Going
you see
downhill.
Well, he got the flashing lights. Hello, David.
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
Right, and Corinda's confirming he can hear me. And David, hello.
On the in the green room now.
David, I can barely hear you.
I was saying, can I not see Steven in the green room now?
Sorry?
Oh, you can't see Steven? I see both of you.
Yep.
I don't see or hear him. The only way I can see and hear him is if I.
Steven, you may want to drop out and come back in again, and the only reason is because there was an echo, there was something going on, and now we can't see you. It might be your connection.
Well, Vilma says she doesn't have a problem, but I'm going
to that
come back.
Welch connection that you got going on over there.
Oh!
I'll leave you to it for a minute, Robert.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, I hear that.
A lot of live streaming going on in the next week or so.
Not for me.
Yeah, you have not been on as much lately.
I haven't been on. Oh, there's Steven.
Thank you. All right, sorry,
I haven't been online. Well, I've been online, but I haven't posted.
Like you're taking a sabbatical.
Just doing some experimentation.
Yeah. It was happenstance, I think. It's the way things worked out because we missed the show this week. We're back next Monday with video streaming advice, which looking forward to.
That's kind of what you're doing today. You're doing video streaming advice.
No, I had but theoretically, David, I have a topic today. Well, actually, I'm going to ask Robert the question, so it's only fair I ask you the question. And the question is quite simple and straightforward. What I'm talking about is the fear of going live and the first time live. And can you remember the first time you went on live video?
No.
Was it Periscope?
No, it was long before Periscope. It would have been probably a webinar. Google Hangouts type.
Okay. I wasn't counting webinars.
Well, I mean, but that's live video. I mean, that's one of the problems is a lot of people think it all started around Periscope. It didn't. It's just, it became mobile. It became a little bit more easier for it to get a hold of and start and be a part of.
Did you ever use Ustream?
Ustream? No, I didn't use Ustream.
That was the mid-'90s where it was that's when it really originated.
Yeah. Problem is, way back then, you would have had to have really good internet. And I would say in the mid-'90s, I was probably on dial-up. I don't think I got introduced to any kind of broadband until the late 90s. In fact,
it was also a lot more about the equipment back then. Because
it was. I mean, and that, again, goes to kind of where I was going, which is, I mean, it's gotten easier. I mean, now you don't have to worry about a webcam or a separate mic or lighting or all that type of stuff. You can just use your phone and use the camera on your phone. And so that's improved and this is improved and broadband's improved for most people except in England. And, you know.
Definitely.
Jab.
Right.
So your first one, Stephen's question, would be a webinar?
Because I mean, I was a huge user of. I loved Hangouts and Hangouts on Air. So when I did my first Hangouts on Air, I was on camera, and that was an unheard of. I mean, a lot of people hated it or didn't like it because they were used to GoToMeeting, which didn't offer the option or ability for you to go on camera at the time. It was just webinar platform. So I've actually been teaching people for a long time about confidence on camera, I guess, and doing faceless videos.
Faceless videos.
Yeah. And then, what Robert was saying about, when Blab came about or multi-people platforms, again, Hangouts was there, but Blab was a different kind of concept and it was more, I guess, more people were ready to jump into it or liked that format a little bit better.
You weren't alone. That's the whole.
Yeah, you weren't alone. So that does make it a little bit easier when you're not there by yourself. When you start off on that platform and then you go back to the one-on-one, I still see a lot of difficulties in individuals because it turns out that what they were doing was just relying on everybody else, and they for some reason when they're by themselves they freeze up still a lot of. And the only way to get past it is to do it, practice a lot, and that's it, and just and that's the same thing with video. That's what I teach about video, is that if you want to get better at doing video, if you want to get better at looking at the camera and talking to the camera and acting like you're talking to the audience, just do more of it.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get past it.
My hint is to start a private group with just 2 members, you and a friend, and with Be Live, go live into the group and just practice. As David said, practice is the key. And on the basis of that, Robert, if you forgive me for a moment, I'm just going to invite someone else in for a minute or two.
No problem.
And we'll continue.
Kicked out. Don't worry. David kicks me out all the time.
But I usually don't ask. I just.
Well, I'm trying.
I don't know what happened. Something must have. But let's bring somebody else.
Yeah, I know. And I say good afternoon to Ali. Thank you for joining us. Now, Ali, welcome. And the question is, can you remember the first time you went on live video?
Hello, sir. How are you? Hello, man. I don't know your name. Please introduce yourself, please.
Right. If you can hear me, when was the first time you went on live on video?
Yeah, I went live a couple of days ago, and it was nice experience with BeLive.tv. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and actually, I had shared my experience with you and with Sir Leland, and it was nice experience. Today, I turned very glad to write your your comment on the headline of being confident in front of camera. That was pretty much nice.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it is. I mean, David and I and Robert take it for granted now, and we can all go on camera without any undue problems. But at the beginning, you've got the nerves, haven't you, about being on camera? And as you say, you're on camera with Leland and myself. And that's it, you're on your way now. Are you thinking of doing your own show?
Sorry, what I'm thinking?
Are you thinking of doing a show of your own?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully in the near future, I'm going to get together with Michael Lucy and a third person will join us. We will talk about a kind of project related to my course, that is electrical engineering. We will having that show on live. We will invite other people to get their opinions about our project, so that we can get different kind of solution to to minimize energy crisis from our country. And so I'm going to have a live show with my friends as well.
Well, all we can say is, David, just do it.
Yep. That's it. I mean, when if you wait and keep trying to get everything right, you're never going to go. You're never going to start. It's always going to be something. Just go ahead and get started and improve as you go along. Figure out, and pay attention to other people's stuff at times too. That helps a lot, is to watch other people, and not so much watch about, to watch other people and say, "Ooh, I like how their lighting is," and stuff, and ask them questions, or I like that I like their sound, or what type of whatever they're using, what's their backdrop, or where they always seen, and you can engage them with that way and pick up little things here and there, because Stephen, you do have a book, right? I think you have a book.
I do have a book on live video, which you can find on Amazon. Just type in live video on Amazon and you'll find it. That's the advert bit done, David. Thank you. Right. Okay,
so while there is a book,
there is a book.
There may not be everything in the book because things have changed since.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
and updated. So,
yeah.
Just do as much as you can. But if you constantly wait, it's kind of like with anything else.
Yeah.
If you treat it like, if you want to get more readers to your blog, then you need to have blogs for them to be able to read. And in order for you to have blogs for them to be able to read, you need to post the blog. So just start writing the blog. Tim Gillette, if you don't know what to blog about, or if you need confidence in that and help in getting ideas about, Tim Gillette has an awesome list to be able to offer to people. Social media posts. You can reach out to people like Robert if you're not sure about, all the different types of things for that type of stuff. Live video is the exact same way. Video is the exact same way. Just do more, and that'll help.
Yep. And then there's our advert for LVS 17.
Mm-hmm.
If you are actually live streaming, then you can join the group that David and I run. Now, I wish I could have 5 people on screen, but I can't. And I want to say hello. Right. Okay, I'm going to drop David for a moment, and I'm going to bring in Robert, but not that Robert. I'm going to bring in... Hello, Robert. Nice to see you.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Stephen?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Hi, Ali. I haven't met you before.
Hi. Yeah.
So the topic is what was the first time on live?
Yeah, that's the question. When was your first time live? And I'm going to drop down for a moment while you explain and bring Robert back up, who's patiently waiting. So just carry on and talk about your first time live.
Well, I'm going to assume that was first time live streaming rather than first time live TV, which was back in the 50s. I was on a local TV show in Bakersfield, California, where I grew up. But the first live streaming was last year on Blab. And shortly thereafter Periscope, and I've been kind of hooked ever since.
Yes, he has, because I've seen Mr. Myers all over the place. How are you, Robert?
I'm good, Robert. How are you?
Good. So I want to ask questions like Steve would. That first time you went on Blab, what did it feel like? What was it like for you?
Oh, a little nervous and stuff, and I kind of lurked in the background, and then I just decided, hey,
You remember what the first person?
I'm sorry?
You remember who the first?
I don't.
Nah?
No, I don't.
Because Blab, I believe Blab helped a lot of people to get a little bit of the nervousness out.
Absolutely. I remember popping into your show several times. Gosh, who else? David's, Leland, Leland's room. It seemed to just kind of circulate.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you find, because you really started with Blab, how did you find the transition of going to Periscope where it's just you? How did you feel about that transition?
Oh, I felt frustration.
Okay.
It would just, and I don't do Periscope well as it is. I like the feedback that I get on screen to screen, or 3 or hopefully 4 in the room soon.
Yeah, well, that depends. No, and it's changing drastically. I mean, every week there's something new coming out, new program, new features. I mean, in social media trends, I always kind of show it. What's happened in the past 3 years, it almost took 5 to 6 years of the amount of stuff that changed prior to it in what's happened in the past 3 years.
Yeah. And I'm real interested to see how augmented reality interfaces with this.
Oh, definitely.
That's definitely going to be real real exploration opening up there.
Yeah. And Ali, I'm just curious, what programs have you used to use live streaming? Has it only been BeLive, or have you used any others?
Actually, so far I have used Zoom TV.
Zoom?
Yeah.
Zoom TV, yes.
So you haven't done
I have interviewed and
you haven't done a BeLive yet.
no, I have never been live before this. I've been live here just with you and a couple of days ago with Stephen Haley and Leland and the same format. Well, I am thinking of getting live on BeLive.tv with my few friends. So we have a kind of discussion about my project related to my course. Well, here's problem I am experiencing right now. I am asking to Robert that are you actually experiencing delay right now? Video delay?
I see a little pixelation of your video here and there, but the delay on the voice, maybe a little bit, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree,
And
Robert?
you and between.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing some pixelation and a little bit of out of sync audio with the video.
Actually, here in Pakistan, it's due to maybe the short of bandwidth.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's because in right here in Asia there is narrow bandwidth, so maybe the delay due to that. But I am experiencing delay from you too as well. Maybe I think that it's a kind of error. I'm not really criticizing. I'm just for the sake of correction and minimizing the error. I am just discussing with you. I'm not really criticizing it. But there is delay. I think when we talk with different people from all over the world, if such kind of delay is there, then it's not gonna be good during that delegate. So I think this must be fixed to some extent.
Yeah. One of the things, though, when being that your Wi-Fi and your internet is different levels, let's say, than we have with the higher type thing, you have a shorter bandwidth, like you had mentioned. One of the things I'll tell you, even with us, with the higher bandwidth, I close down, when I'm on BeLive, I close down every single window, and the only window that's up is BeLive. Because this way, nothing else is interfering. Like when Steven was on, he was using ManyCam. So because he was using something else with his computer to do it, it was hurting his bandwidth. It was hurting his situation. So like right now, this is literally the only window I have open. And that'll help at least a little bit of a stronger presence for yourself. Is the most strength you'll get out of it.
Yeah. You're right.
So,
well, this software is also going to help in teaching to other people. The last man was really discussing about it, that we can teach other the people who are at some distance from us. We can teach them. Can't we?
Yeah, sure. That's it. For distance learning, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I was thinking about this software, that how much benefits can we get from this software in different ways. We can promote our business, a kind of advertisement. We can directly go with people and get feedback from them about our products we are going to sell if we are a business person.
right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're still exploring everything, but I'd like to say thank you for joining us, Ali, and we look forward to. Well, Robert and I look forward to your first show, and invite us on. You must invite us on when you actually do go live, and I'm going to take you down into the lobby and then bring Robert back and see you shortly. Now, what happens that when you now come live, when we all come live, when you come live, you get a 3-second warning. You get the flashing red and the sound and the bells and whistles and everything.
If you're looking down at your phone, it's, I'm going back on.
Give you a chance to that. But the thing, I think that you also need something if you're producing the show and you're going to take somebody down from being on live, then you need a polite way of saying, moment, you've got to come on screen. Because I had to drop Robert, come on myself, and then put Ali into the lobby. So it's like a moving squares thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if you could just say from the lobby section, some way of actually communicating that in 20 seconds you're going to be off. I mean, you need more warning that you're going off because you might be in the middle of saying something.
Unless you're David. David just takes you down. He doesn't even give you a warning. It's
the
but that's part of David's handle.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that fascinates me about every show that we do is that they're all different. They're all totally different.
You know what the main reason is? Listen, I was a realtor before I got into social media. I used social media to build my business, and then I transferred over to teaching and stuff. When you are dealing with the public and people, you can have listen, I do a conversation live show where I interview people from around the world and stuff like that. Stephen, you do your LVS show about Be Live and do this. Robert can do his show about TV programming or whatever. And the thing is, as soon as you bring on other people on the show, it doesn't matter. It changes it because you're dealing with personalities. You're dealing with people. It's kind of like everybody's like, oh, well, real estate, it's the same thing all the time. It's not, because you're dealing with a different buyer, a different seller, a different agent, a different home inspector, and personalities start to come into play and how people react to things. So no matter what, you can plan the same show every single week, and it'll always be different.
That's it. That's it. It's the dynamics of it, isn't it?
Yep. It's about people.
Yep. It's interaction of people.
The engagement, the interaction, the talking with each other, the subject matter. Because you know what? Stephen and I can come on every single week to talk about Be Live. Yeah. And if he's got an opinion on something and I have an opinion on something, and we talk about Be Live on Working Talk Show, we talk about Be Live doing face-to-face, it's always going to be a different interaction show because, one, there's opinions. Always opinions. And that's the whole thing about social media. There is no one person that knows it all. It's all opinionated.
Well, it's also changing every day. Did you catch the Jeff Adams on Monday afternoon?
I saw part of it. I had a coaching call with the client,
right.
So
Well, that was
the problem. It's like there's so many people I want to watch, but I got to do business.
Well, that's one of David's points, that we should be watching people but I'll come back to that in a minute. But the Be Live TV weekly show, which goes out Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern, with Jeff Adams, myself, and Ross Brand.
Right.
Jeff had a guest this week called Stephen Aitchison. Now, here's a gentleman from Scotland, where 3 people in Scotland know him, but he's got 3.3 million fans on Facebook.
I saw that part, and only 3 of those fans are in Scotland.
Yeah, that's it. He's known globally, and people were singing his praises. And the show itself was just a joy to be part of, but it was actually watched by 15,500 people live.
Yeah.
And
but if he walked door to door in Scotland, nobody knows him.
Oh, true, but he's well known. But he does 2 shows a day, which is even more than I do, to reach out to his audience. He does a show in the group and a show to the public. But he's obviously got his strategy right, because between you, me, and the wall, his courses sell for $1,800. And that's what he's pushing. Is marketing? Sorry, not pushing. Marketing is he's selling his social media courses, but he is successful, and you can't knock that, can you? I mean, when a guy's got 3.3 million followers and he does what he says on the tin, then more power to him. So we've gone from going to your first time live to being an accomplished broadcaster, which he is. But it's step by step, isn't it?
You know what it is also? He's consistent.
Yeah.
And his content is good content, quality, good content. You put those two things together, anybody can do it. And I really do mean that. Anybody can. If you have good quality content and you are consistently doing it, you will build a following, for one. Robert knows me from Periscope days. I mean, I was on twice a day and doing things. I'm consistent. And I mean, Periscope was the first time ever that I went within 0 on day 1 to 2.5 months later that I had almost 9,000 people following me. That's like unheard of.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's consistency, as you say.
And it's consistent and quality content. It doesn't have to be great, but quality, offering that value, offering tips, offering advice, doing things like that. And that's what makes anybody who wants to use live streaming for business work.
Right. So coming back to our first topic, which is where this all began, confidence on camera, what tips would you both give people about how they can become confident?
I'm going to let the younger Robert go first.
Thank you for your digression there. I have always found that if you just pretend that they're in the room with you, having a cup of coffee, chatting, it just makes it seem like it's a regular conversation. It doesn't have to be intimidating.
I totally agree on that. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at this, is that the three of us are talking about a topic that we're interested in.
Yeah.
That's it. And now to gentleman on my far right, Robert.
The other Robert.
There are two Roberts. You both eat. I'm not going to.
Robert the wiser.
Stephen, you got bookends. No, definitely what Robert has said. It's pretending that you're having the conversations, you're in the room, just like you go to a networking meeting or you go to some place, you're talking with people. It's the same aspect. But one thing that we really haven't touched is being prepared. If you're going to host a show, like you did, Stephen, here, and you'll have a title of your show that we want us kind of focus on, about confidence in camera and your first time on and everything else, it's having an agenda, a BeLive term now, and it's having that agenda of what you're coming on to actually focus on your conversation. Now, granted, you will be brought away from it at times, but you can bring yourself back to the agenda of the show.
Yeah.
And what I mean in prepared, I don't mean you have to have 27 things written out that you're going to talk about. You could have just a little sticky note right next to your camera with maybe 4 or 5 bullet points of things you want to cover, which is like the agenda in BeLive now, having that there. Because I still see people that have their page, and it's a couple of my clients, which I've already discussed with them, and they're talking and they're looking right at the camera, and then they got to go to the next subject. And then they look up again, and then they look, and it's constant. And I'm like, put the paper next to the camera so you're not looking away from the camera. But it's little things about being prepared of what's the conversation, what is your, and Robert Myers will probably like this because of the TV side, I'm going to say, what is the intention of the show?
Yeah.
That's a TV term in reality, because when you're doing news or you're doing a show on TV, what is the intentionality of that show? Is it to make people laugh? Is it to inform? Is it to educate? Is it to this? You need to do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Robert?
Absolutely.
Right.
It doesn't have to be expressed, but just the mindset comes across.
Exactly. So as much as he said having the conversation, it's also having some preparation. It doesn't have to be huge amounts. Okay. I mean, when I do my interviews, Stephen, I dig for information, and I'll throw something out there and they'll look at me like, how did you find that out?
Yeah.
But but it's like, it's all about being prepared.
I totally agree. I totally agree with both of you, which is good. Right.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me today. Thank you to everybody who's been watching us. If you'd both like to give your, I was going to say call to action. We'd like to give a call to action. Let's get with it. What would you like people to do after the show to get in contact with you?
Well, listen, I'm big on Facebook. That's kind of my primary source. You can go to my business page. It's The Social Leader. I am always giving out tips and live streams and doing a lot of interviews lately. And I've been using BeLive for the interviews, which have been fantastic. I mean, my last one, Stephen, you saw it, had over 5,500 views.
Yep.
It was unbelievable, and but because it was a niche thing, it was about American Sign Language and everything. But it's I'm constantly out there, so definitely just go to Facebook.com, The Social Leader, and follow and get involved and enjoy the information I can pass on.
Thank you. And
for me, I'm on quite a few platforms, just as at Robert Myers JD. Just search for that. I'm a big advocate for developmentally disabled community and looking at how this technology can assist that population and populations, whether it be from birth or geriatric disability. People feel isolated, and this is a powerful platform that is going to aid that portion of humanity, and I'm just looking forward to helping, being an evangelist in that area.
Thank you,
Robert. What is the JD for?
Juris Doctorate.
I thought so, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. It's
he's a lawyer. Guys. He's a lawyer.
Recovering lawyer.
Okay, now you did a call to action, and it may result in an instant response for both of you, because this is ambiguous. So I'm going to take it as that. But I watched a show just before I came here on Smile Time, where Corinda was talking to Allegra. Yeah, and it was very good. So the invitation from Corinda to Robert or Roberts is he would like to chat to you on his show.
I saw that, and I'm definitely going to reach out to me, and we'll try to set something up.
Corinda, same here. We're friends on Facebook. Send me a message, and we'll hook it up.
Brilliant. That's networking. That's people making contact with people, and it's been my pleasure.
Or as I call it, net friending.
Net friending, indeed, to be with you both today. And thank you to everybody who's watched. Next show, you can see you do know we've got an election in the UK, don't you?
Yeah, I heard something going on.
Yeah, we've got a general election, which has been called by our Prime Minister because she wants a larger majority in the House so that she can take us out of the EU. So we've got 6 weeks of frenetic politics, which you know all about, of course. But
yes, we know it very well here. It's still going after the election.
It is still going. So
some of us are so over it.
Every time I see the word Trump or Clinton or anything, I just bypass it at this point.
Yeah, okay. We know whereof you speak. So that's the topic. One of the topics on our show tomorrow, Blabbing for Britain, 10 o'clock. On the Blabbing for Britain page on Facebook, and we'll be talking politics. So, I'll see you both again. Thank you for joining me.
Take care, Stephen.
Yes, good day.
Okay. Good to see you, Robert.
Bye,
and
Robert.
Thank you to everybody who watched us live.